Well then, we're gonna be heading into the second game that is gonna be played on sudden death. Definitely good news, as we're gonna be looking at an interesting game, an interesting map that it seems like deities of death are not all that unhappy about. Maybe besides Fox, he seemed to be a bit unfamiliar with actually what's gonna happen. And well, the sudden death, it's all about having just one citadel. That's basically one TC that you're having. If you lose it, you're gone. And there are then, well, gone there. You are having, I think, a minute timer that you can actually rebuild, but if you cannot make it in that time, you are gone overall. But otherwise, of course, there are plenty of 10s, as you can see in here, and they are giving population, I think, about 10. Yeah, and the thing is that they actually cannot be rebuilt, and you don't have basically more houses because of them if they are deleted. So if you lose them and your opponent still has them, then you're gonna be having quite a significant disadvantage in the population limit. So let's see how this is going to be dealt with. You can see plenty of hunt is absolutely everywhere. As Geffer the Cat is gonna be in the vanguard, leading it against Brighead. It's gonna be two Norse players in here. As behind them are gonna be hidden Joe and at the very back Fox. Well, it's kind of funny spawn for those because Fox was the most unhappy about them, or unhappy, most kind of taken aback by the map choice here to even check it in the LAN, as you could have seen. So this is pretty lucky spawn for DT, so that for Frost is gonna be Swoop at the back. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking that all three Frosts really know what they want to do and what they want to achieve. You can already see that Frosts are going for the water on the right. It's gonna be Lyre together with his teammate. With his teammate Geffer the Cat, who are gonna be aiming for all the fishies in here. Well, all of the fishies, yeah. Just looking at this. Okay, not really all that many of them, but they are gonna be just behind. I'm thinking somewhere in there. Shouldn't be really that bad. There are gonna be a few more fishies for, of course, the teal player, but otherwise for the blue, for Brighead, he's gonna be coming to the left side. He's already seeing some of the purchase in there hidden, so he should be having quite a good economy. But so far, it's kind of funny for Lion. Still, let's see how many he actually is able to somehow discover. So at the bottom, there's gonna be Joe going for the water as well as the Egyptian, and he's gonna be trying to steal as many as possible, so that the water economy is not that great for the opponents. And this is actually, looking at the amount of fishies in here, this is gonna be very important for the early game, because once you are going for a water economy, you are hoping for like at least 5, 6, ideally, at least, fishing spots. And if you don't get them, then your economy is gonna be kinda all over the place, and it's not gonna be working all that well. So that could definitely happen, especially looking right now at Geffer the Cat, who's gonna be having like 3. That's gonna be it. The rest is gonna be stolen by either his teammate Lyre or by Joe. He's already working on the second dog. As on the right, there's gonna be plenty of fishies for Lyre, so he should be in the end having a pretty good game, but I'm seriously worried about Geffer, especially combined with the fact that he is in the middle and in the front. So yeah, it's not really gonna be that great for him. Otherwise, Brigade is having good economy on the left, as nobody is joining on that part of the water. It doesn't seem like that Lyre would be heading there yet either. Where is he actually gonna be placed in a temple? Apparently not in the home base. It seems like that they're gonna be basically making all their stand in the middle, right next to Geffer the Cat. So it's gonna be quite interesting in that regard. As obviously, there's gonna be a bit of help by Fox, by a few of the towers in here, as of course the temple is gonna be built behind the citadel, and rest, well, it seems that everything is just gonna be coming into the normal positions for Fox in there. Well, there's gonna be apparently a bit of a scouting going on by Geffer the Cat through the Odin Raven, trying to see if there are some extra fishing spots or not, as of course the same is right now going for Joe, who unfortunately for him hasn't found anything yet. He has just now still at the 2 and 3, so that's 5. That's quite okay, but of course still is at just about 3, and he's already looking for something next, and he's not really having any kind of luck with that. So well, pretty bad for him. Okay. Well, doesn't seem to be heading in any kind of good direction either in here. Ah, well, finally there are some extra fishies that have been found just about now. As on the left, it seems to be basically just one-man show for Brighead, which I'm thinking he's enjoying pretty much, not having to fight for the water at all. And if he discovers that he doesn't really have to fight for it and just needs to concentrate on the land warfare, which I'm thinking right now he's gonna be preparing for more than anything, already coming for all of the walls, well, I will be walling even the house. Because as I said before, you cannot rebuild it, and if you lose it, yeah, exactly, exactly like Joe is doing, you need to protect even the houses, because if you don't and you lose them, you're heading into the disaster, of course. So that's important to keep in mind quite a bit. Well, there's gonna be a bit of conversion going on by Joe, as he wants to try to steal maybe even a bit of food. It's not really that far away from the bases of the opponent, so potentially still could be some food source if actually water went some kind of south or whatnot, as it seems like that Joe is gonna be quite intent on actually keeping the water for himself at this point. Yeah, having plenty of fishes in there. As of course, Lyre, I would be expecting him to place a second knockabout here, because looking at all of this, it's gonna be a whole lot efficient and it would be improving his economy so much better. Like, so significantly much better. So let's see if that's gonna happen or not, as Brigette is just confirming that he is really going to be having the water just for himself. And nobody else, as this is going to be quite an interesting walling coming up from Geffer the Cat, just trying to make sure that he's not surprised by the opponents, and he's gonna be continuing a bit later and to the left, everybody advancing at more or less the same time, as the only one who is lagging behind is going to be Joe, just now halfway into the Ptach. But yeah, Ptach from Fox is already gonna be present for some interesting shifting sands, disrupting the Norse play from the opponents. The gods are gonna be, as we haven't really seen that, or rather haven't really mentioned that before, you have probably seen that. If you wanted to, Brighead Thor, Joe is gonna be set, Fox is gonna be set as well, so double set, interesting choice. Otherwise for the opponents it's gonna be triple Norse, double Loki and an Odin. So, well, interesting choice, and this should be a really good map for the Norse, as it is low population, and it basically means they're gonna be quite effective in the early game. Yeah, this is a map that, for example, Golden Axe should be liking, as he like kind of despises other TCs and he just plays on one TC, and that's his goof. So he probably should be enjoying this map overall. Well, otherwise though, the army is already coming up with Brighead and Fox, with the wall of course being finished in there as well. And well, second dog has been finished right about now for Brighead, for the efficiency of course, and it's looking like that it has been noticed by Lyre, so potentially could be expecting even maybe some extra counter dog, not entirely certain, but he's still having the Skrelly in there, so I wouldn't be surprised by another dog about here for full-on efficiency and really good economy for him overall. As of course, well, Lyre apparently not interested in any kind of nonsense like that. There seems to be a bit of a water fighting on the right side, as Joe is the only one who is on the water in here for deities of death. Whereas for Frosts, it seems that really, yeah, Geffer the Cat is not gonna be joining in. He apparently is just interested in a lot of walling, trying to finish it. Well, he did. He's right now even repairing it. Yeah, open the gates, but don't let the animals in. As those guys are going to be helping with a bit of a repair and maybe just basically killing all the animals, because they are doing not anything at all. And yep, they're going to be having a bit of a feast a bit later. So much tasty meat going to be available to all of them. Well, in the meantime, of course, Swoop is having quite plenty of army in there. And is somebody actually having forest fire? No. I was kind of looking that forest fire could be quite sweet on this, to be just opening the way into the enemy base like a whole lot. Maybe even this would be even better. Will be just opening the opponents like they can. But at the same time, of course, we mustn't forget that Geffer the Cat was the one who was actually walling up, and he probably doesn't want to open the doors all that much himself. He just wants to be taking things a bit more carefully, a bit more slowly, and be ready for whatever might be coming a bit later. Here we come. That seems to be like pretty good army right now from Lyre and Swoop. It seems like the Brigade was just caught off guard a bit, but with Fox's army already being present in that, should be quite fine. But at the same time, I just a bit looking where actually Green is. He's just walling up on the water. He has lost. It seems like he doesn't even fight for it all that much, so there's gonna be water for Lyre. As in here on the battlefield, yep, Frosts are forced to retreat, as it wasn't really all that much of a good time for them to be attacking at this stage anyway. Brighead still continuing with the water dominance, having plenty everything and everywhere, with another dock coming up at the very back. This is not even finished. You can see not even finished destruction by Lyre, because of the longboat, of course. That was definitely helping them, and so far dots are really taking this game kinda slowly. You can see that Frosts are not really hurrying up all that much either. They have just basically won the water on the right and went for a bit of raiding, but that's about it. Nothing all that major. Nothing all that major anywhere. As we are looking at a bit of an interim, it seems like. So let's check, for example, what's being researched. Yeah, big nothing. Because it's not working here. Okay, I don't think actually that sudden death has been upgraded with all those thingies to give us some extra help. So we will have to actually check the players one by one, which shouldn't be that hard, especially as far as Aegis advances go, because everybody's having just one TC. So that's a bit of a help, of course, here. And Scud is coming up for a Breakhead. And that is it. Yeah, that is it so far. That's at least so far it. It seems like there's gonna be Neftis, of course, for Fox right about now. Maybe for Joe as well, but I'm not entirely certain. There is going to be a bit of walling as well for Brighead, as we are literally in a bit of an interim without any kind of extra happening. If it wasn't for this side built by Flyor, oh well, this is gonna be a surprise. Because of course, right about now, they might be realizing, especially Brighead, that threat is still present behind the wall, but they are absolutely unaware that this is happening, and this could be quite deadly. If this is gonna be resulting into some kind of surprise attack against all those houses and whatnot, against those stands, that's gonna be a pretty nasty surprise. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 right next to each other. That's 40 population limit that is not going to be coming back. And that's like 2 TCs. Yeah, well, good luck with that. And anyway, further defense is going to be built in the middle, as Fox is going to be producing another barracks in there, as this home base is protected quite a lot. And is there going to be some kind of problem potentially for this? From some kind of god powers from the opponents? I don't really think so, because they are of course 3 North, so they don't really have any kind of destructive god powers left, especially in the combination that they're right now having. And it seems that ooh, yeah, it seems that there's going to be some kind of problem. Alright, so there should be somebody pausing. They are. And it seems that we are exactly where we left, with the army being prepared, of course, in the middle. That seems to be quite nicely prepared for Geffer the Cat, with all those frost giants and whatnot. And of course, we have seen that the Scuddies have been in for both Geffer the Cat and Brighead. But otherwise, is somebody else advancing somewhere and whatnot? Or not? Red is not advancing. Ah, there's a Braggy coming up for a swoop. Otherwise, for green, for Joe, there is nothing coming up, but Neftis is coming for Fox. Okay, so that should be quite a nasty surprise, of course, for the opponents, because they don't have any kind of blocking power. But it could potentially be freezing even the minions. They definitely could be. Okay, so everybody should be ready. So let's just start, I guess. There's still plenty of boats by Lyor, which I don't really think is all that needed, but he hasn't cleaned up with Joe all that much. So he still needs to continue fighting, because once actually Joe gets into the heroic age, he's definitely gonna be fighting for it. As apparently Swoop has already gotten through even this side, and it seems that he's gonna be trying to help his teammate Red with getting rid of all of those dogs. Definitely nice idea. As on the left they are apparently advancing forward, and we still mustn't forget the side build that Lyre has prepared a bit more to the left side. Well, it seems that this is gonna be quite an important moment in the game a bit later, because this could be definitely very easily getting rid of all of those extra 10s, as apparently he's using all of those animals for extra food. I'm right now talking about Fox, who's having some kind of army in the front, but otherwise, yeah, well, Joe is not really present with the army yet. He's fighting on the water, well, fighting not really much, but he's at least dropping some barracks so that he can help a bit later against all of those medium Ulfsarks, and of course the Frost Giants on top of that as well. So far, not any kind of extra upgrades for him. As for Brighead, we're looking at also no extra upgrades. At least he's having medium Ulfsarks, but of course we would be expecting that Brighead could be using some medium upgrades as well. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very hard fight for him. And oh well, there's gonna be a side build as well. This time it's gonna be for Brighead on the left. So who's gonna be better? Is it gonna be Lyre or Brighead? Well, Lyre was of course quite a lot faster. Brighead might be having some kind of other nefarious plan in there as well hidden. So let's see. A bit later, who's gonna be executing this better, because he's already come in for a bit of raiding, maybe potentially, or maybe just basically seeing what's gonna happen in there. But much more importantly, there is already going to be a full-on fight into the middle, as apparently, well, Geffer the Cat just at the last moment decided to go somewhere else, because of course it makes plenty of sense, as this is a very nice base building. By deities of that, they are basically funneling all the army through this small opening into a ton of fire from the citadel, from the towers, and really pretty bad close quarters. This is not something and somewhere where they want to fight at all. They want to fight at all, as of course this is gonna be resulting into a bit of an attempt right now by Brighead and Fox to advance forward, because they are maybe thinking that there's not much of a push behind Geffer the Cat, and not much of a support, which seems to be kinda right, because the only one who could be supporting him is gonna be Swoop. Seems that Lyre is just gonna be building himself in the middle. This is so nice to see, especially considering that on the left Swoop is gonna be getting rid of the Brighead's side build, whereas, yep, we are getting on the houses. houses. So goodbye houses for Joe, goodbye houses for probably even Fox, and shifting sands are coming up right about now for Joe. This is a very nice reaction, as he definitely needs to somehow defend against this, because the houses are supremely important for him. And well, unfortunately they did not really account for any kind of side build like this, but well, they had the god powers and they are gonna be saving their asses at least for a moment. Well, trade is apparently gonna be coming up as well, as in the middle there is a big battle brewing. So what kind of god powers are we looking at? Well, frosts, flaming weapons and whatnot, so it's gonna be basically who pulls the trigger first. Because frosts are gonna be waiting, of course, for the flaming weapons. That's actually what all of this is all about. With how many upgrades do we have in? Heavy throwing axeman. Yeah, so just a moment ago, Big Head was having no upgrades. Right now he's already at heavy. Otherwise he's having copper in there. That's very nice. For Teal, that's heavy also with copper shields. Yeah, well, that's not gonna help all that much against all of those melee armies. Definitely should be looking for some other upgrades in here. As purple is at medium with no extra upgrades, and this is not looking all that great. Even though they are having the numbers, they are not really having the, how's it called, the upgrades, sorry. And this is looking, this is kind of funny, because this might be actually forcing some kind of frost from either side, as Fox is using Ancestors right about now. This is gonna be a reason for Swoop to actually retreat together with Geffer the Cat, I'm really thinking. Because they don't really want to use the Frost right now, because they will be just opening the door to flaming weapons, which would be absolutely deadly. And like, by absolutely, I mean totally. That would be really hard to actually deal with, as this battle is still going on. And at the back, well, the little battle seems to be going quite alright, but so far the houses are at least standing, or rather tents are still standing, so that seems to be going quite fine, at least in the defense. But the attack is kinda problematic, of course, for both Joe and Fox, and they are having their hands full with all that is going on, and they had to use, of course, the Ancestors into the defense. So Joe is right now through Mythic into Thoth, which could be useful to actually cast to get rid of the side build. As even some sentry tower is being built. That's actually interesting to notice at this point, as otherwise there is a bit of a side build yet again built by Brickhead by the one lone Ulfsar, or rather Herseer, Sigvad Wolfmender, that we have noticed a bit before, but otherwise that's pretty much it, and there's not much else happening. Just in the middle we are looking a bit of a push forward right now, coming up and being quite strong, but looking how Brigade is actually right now advancing through Balder, so probably he's gonna be aiming for Ragnarok reasonably soon. He's having also quite good upgrades already, double bronze, that's very good indeed for him. A Swoop is using flame weapons right now, that's gonna be of course Frost from Brighead, and we're gonna be waiting for what right about now, I'm not certain. I'm thinking Geffer the Cat is still having Frost, Lyra is still having flaming weapons, so there is still gonna be one opportunity for them with the full on flaming weapons, and oh well, the Frost is coming up from the other side as well. And what's gonna happen now? I think this is gonna be time for the full on push by Lyra, as another Ancestors are gonna be cast somewhere in the top. As, oh well, and right now, has he cast it actually correctly? Because it's traveling from one tower to TC, but it should be traveling right about here. But it doesn't seem like that it's traveling really there, so it seems like it was miscast. Yeah, unfortunately they should be really watching the video by Mires, how to cast properly, Undermine. But yeah, well, it didn't really happen, as this is gonna be just quite soon. Getting over and out, and wearing out, as Lyra is building another side build in here. Very nice idea, as on the one on the left is under attack right now, it seems like, quite convincingly by Fox. So it seems like that Fox will be quite concentrating on the side build to actually put it out of commission, which definitely he needs to, as in the front base there is gonna be another big battle. Already champion throwing axeman with almost all the upgrades in there, well, a lot of almost, but he's kinda halfway in there. With the important ones, that's quite interesting. As of course purple, no upgrades whatsoever, that's unfortunate, as steel is still just at the copper shields. This is not really good news for them at all, and that's the reason why actually blue is not losing all that many units. Still seems to be very much alive. With the help of yellow, they have basically annihilated all the enemy armies, and they are still having, I think, the flaming weapons in there. Yeah, right now they are gonna be using them, Lyra. But he's gonna be using them at the battle at the bottom, as he needs to somehow get rid of the army in there, and hoping that it's gonna be strong enough. He's also trying to get rid of whatever little army that actually Brigade is sending at the bottom, as he's trying to block the trade. Nice idea. Unfortunately for them, it has been already noticed, and there is a side boss still present, but unfortunately Brigade is not really making any kind of significant use of that. But looking how the house survived, or rather the tent survived, and the army has been completely destroyed right about now for the opponents. Well, they are rebuilding of course, but they are still seem to be missing the upgrades. Yeah, they definitely are. They need to be getting the upgrades, because without the upgrades, it's just gonna do anything significant. Meteors are coming up, and they are... it's an interesting choice. It seems to be reasonably working, getting rid of the military buildings. I'm just thinking that maybe the meteors could be better to basically insta-get rid of some of the tents. The tents are quite far away from each other, but if you cast the meteors right about here, you might be getting rid of both of them, and I think that would be much more worthwhile than actually getting rid of the military buildings. But at the same time, this could be working. This could be working because I think that the Gaffer the Cat that doesn't have any kind of backups. Yeah, just a few. You can see literally one. So that's a pretty significant issue, as if he loses all the army just about now, he doesn't have anything to rebuild them in, and that's just gonna be steamrolling into huge advantage for deities of death. And right now they are having basically freeway into the tents, and well, that's gonna be it for, of course, the teal player. So not really that great views for him into the next minutes of the game. Otherwise, at the bottom, still the side build is very much present with all the towers and whatnot, still basically requiring some kind of attention from Fox and Joe, as on the right, it seems like that it's gonna be basically over, as those Wolfsarks with the Throwing Axemen should be getting rid of all of this that has been built here. No, well, let's not call it yet. He's definitely not giving up this one dude. As at the top, it seems like it's gonna be it for the Brigade's build. But in the middle, we mustn't forget that deities of death are quite convincingly pushing ever forward. And yep, it seems like that this is gonna be more or less head in one direction, especially once they finally notice. Come on, kill the houses in there and the tents. It's gonna be quite useful for you. But in the meantime, we can see that Gaffer Cat has been able to rebuild, and the push by the piece of death, unfortunately for them, wasn't really fast enough, and they might be even forced to retreat from this position. Yeah, they definitely are, as even the spam of the priest doesn't seem to be really strong enough all that much. Yeah, not really. Chariot archers without any upgrades whatsoever. For green, it's gonna be pretty much the same. Yeah, for the Egyptians, that's what you'll be expecting at this stage. But we mustn't forget there is still Balder. There is still this good power being readied and waiting for the right moment. So once that is cast, that's gonna be, well, at the same time, basically he has to be quite careful about casting it, because if he casts it at the wrong moment, he's gonna be having a very hard time actually somehow coming back into the game, because he doesn't have 3 TCs to rebuild his economy. And once he gets rid of the economy and loses the units at the same time, then it's gonna be 2 versus 3 for quite some time. So he definitely has to somehow cast it at the right moment to get rid of one of the enemies at all, or rather altogether. Because if he doesn't, then it might be coming back to bite him quite a bit. But still, 80 units extra at this stage. Yeah, with full upgrades that is quite near him. It's probably not gonna be any kind of bad moment. Anyway, right now Lyra is coming with a bit of wolfies. So let's see what kind of damage they actually do. They're gonna be killing just a few. Oh, that's sneaky. That is sneaky. And why is he actually going for the house and not for the tent? I don't exactly get that, but at any rate, it was kind of nice sneak in there. But it seems like that this is going to be quite alright if you defend it. Yeah, you can see even the catapults getting rid of all the side builds at the side, but still, Lyra is not giving up and still is going to be continuing in there with the push ever forward. Otherwise, the TC of Gaffer the Cat is right now under attack. Even though it's still having 5,000 hit points, it's gonna be taking quite some time to take it down. The advance from the deities of death seems to be quite good at this point, and with Fox coming with the meteors, just cast it here, please, just do. Cast it somewhere here. You're gonna be taking maybe tents, maybe some hill forts. I kinda think you can't really make a mistake by casting it here, especially since you're already trying to take the fortified citadel down, and there are not all that many better places to where to actually do it. So where has he actually transported everything? Now there is a bit of an interesting spot at the bottom where a rat is still continuing stopping the trade. That seems to be working quite fine. Quite fine indeed, that's not really that bad. As at the back, it seems like the rat is still very much annoying. Yeah, he's not giving up on his idea, and it's definitely right to do so, because if he can somehow make the life of his opponents as difficult as possible, it's always gonna be working for him, and well, it definitely is quite well. Yep, this is it, as we are looking at meteors being cast, of course, right about now. So that's gonna be goodbye Fortified Citadel, and goodbye quite probably Gaffer the Cat overall, as he's gonna be losing not only that, quite probably even some extra houses and tents and whatnot if he gets lucky. But it seems like that Fox didn't, and yep, you can see here's the timer. 2 minutes to claim a town center. Still needs to claim the town center, otherwise Gaffer the Cat is going to be altogether out. And since he needs to claim a town center under attack by the enemies, it's going to be supremely hard for him. Especially as a Norse, because he needs to use units. And he needs all the units that he can actually spare to fight in the battle. So this is actually one of the drawbacks of Norse playing on this map. As if you need to replace the TC, you just kinda cannot. Because once you have to replace the TC, you usually need the units to actually defend, and you cannot really spare them. So it's gonna be up to his teammates to somehow save him at this stage, as he needs to rebuild as soon as possible. And let's see how that's gonna be working for him. Well. Otherwise, there are some kind of multicolored dots that would be doing something significant. Well, there is a bit of raiding by phoenixes. That's a bit of a rare sight. You don't see that all that often. Phoenixes raiding like Stymphalian birds. Interesting indeed. It's apparently gonna be catching plenty of villages in there. And we are still waiting for the Ragnarok, right? Yes. Still the Ragnarok is waiting for... Oh, stop here. Yep. Exactly. Barbecue time. Oh well. Poor guys. Poor guys indeed. At any rate, let's go back to the battlefield in the middle, where it seems like that actually Gaffer the Cat... Oh well, 35 seconds. Oh, you need to hurry up. You need to so significantly hurry up, boy. It doesn't seem to be even going up as fast as possible, or rather as fast as normal TCs, so 25 seconds is gonna be like a wonder race right now, but he's gonna be finishing, yeah. He sent all their army in there, it's gonna be quite close, but it's gonna be there. So he's still gonna be standing up, and yep, it's going to be just a normal TC, not a Citadel, which means that he's gonna be having like 1200 less hit points. I'm not entirely certain if even less town's population limit, I think so. I think so. Not entirely positive, but it could be. Maybe somebody in the chat will know a whole lot better. I'm a bit more familiar with the map. But of course, they are right now pushing forward, which is a bit of a surprise to me, because I would be expecting at this stage, with how they were going, the ATs of that they should be really pushing forward. But they're really not. Is it because of some kind of upgrades? Not really. I don't see all that many upgrades on Gaffer. How's it looking with Soup? Also, like, they are winning without upgrades. How are they actually doing that? Is it because of this side build by Lyor that is eating so much more attention from the Egyptians? Have they overdone actually on their economy? Oh, that could be it. That could be it, that they have overdone on the economy, the Egyptians. Let's see. 79 economy. Joe is at 60. It's not really bad. It shouldn't be that bad for them. It's really weird. So they're not overdoing on the economy, but they're having kind of significant trouble somehow spending enough army actually into the middle, and still Frost are very much into the game. Well. Well, that's actually quite interesting development in here. And quite unexpected, to be honest, as the ATs of Death are still having quite a significant trouble dealing with the situation, even though they have already gotten rid of one of the TCs, they just haven't won the game yet. And it's really a shame. Really a shame that we're actually not gonna be having the full recorded game of this game, because this is gonna be one of the better sudden deaths, but at least we have the live stream, so yeah, that's at least something that the modern days is bringing us, that we can even have games after they are restored. Well, there's gonna be plenty of course, Ballistae from Brigade. I'm just kinda curious what he's waiting for with the Ragnarok. What kind of situation is he actually looking for? I'm kinda thinking it would have been the best situation when they were taking down the TC of Gaffer the Cat. If they cast the Ragnarok there, I'm thinking they would have been totally steamrolling the opponents, but he probably just doesn't feel like casting it for whatever reason. At some kind of advantageous positions. I have noticed before, or rather, said a bit before why, that on one TC it would be very hard to basically come back onto the full economy. So it would be 2 versus 3 for quite some time, unless they totally killed at least one of the opponents, which they probably weren't all that ready for. So yep, that should be the reason. But still, I think that was a good opportunity to close the game if they cast it right next to TC being down for Gaffer the Cat. But well, that didn't happen, and we are still seeing red absolutely everywhere, even with Wolfies. Oh, even with Wolfies right now coming into the enemy base and into the enemy trade route, getting as many units as possible. Of course, with the response of those priests, it seems to be quite fine. In control, in full control. Well, what else is happening across the map? The trade is still very nicely going, of course. They're having to basically go around in there. Not really that efficient, but anyway. Red is still very much present, also on the left side. Still continue with the side build, which is basically one of the main and chief reasons why Frosts are having such a good chance in this game to actually take it still, even through missing all the upgrades that they are still missing. You can see they're absolutely, completely ignoring the upgrades. Both Swoop and Gaffer are having absolutely no upgrades whatsoever. That's just... we are at 26 minutes and they are just completely ignoring them. And well, finally getting rid of some buildings. Folks coming for a Titan, that could be a good answer. As of course, Titan will be quite good at killing the tents. And yeah, there won't be any kind of counterplay by the Norse. Really not all that much. Well, what's going to happen in here? It seems like that this is not really gonna be finished all that much, as in the middle, apparently War Elephants are gonna be the next unit to be chosen. As of course, Champion Chariots are gonna be coming for 4. They are Champion, right? Yeah, Champion, but not any kind of extra upgrades either. How's it looking for the yellow player for Fox? He said he's having bronze, bronze, and bronze. That's good. That's very good indeed. But for Joe, well, I would be liking a bit more in there. But yeah, he's just investing into elephants probably right about now. Okay, so they are moving forward with plenty of siege. Like, really plenty. Ballistae, with of course Burning Pitch and Draft Horses. But he's not even siege engineers, right? Yet. Could be coming for them as well. So that he can get all the upgrades, but they have, getting quite close to the tent in there. And if they can get rid of it, which should finally be happening quite soon, then it's gonna be getting a whole lot more interesting. And yep, it seems they are getting there as soon as possible. So Titan game being cast at the very back. I don't think there are any kind of useful god powers for Gaffer the Cat and Swoop. They haven't even advanced into the next ages yet, that's interesting. And are they advancing? Where's the TC? Here? No, they aren't, so they are quite comfortable in the heroic age, which is yet another reason why it's kind of surprising that actually deities of death are not pushing through them. really kind of interesting, and just speaks so highly to how actually Frosts are playing this game. As of course, Lyra is still continuing with the build-up on the left, trying to somehow make life not easy for the opponents, and it seems to be working really very well. Just binding some kind of army from them, and much more importantly, attention. And maybe there could be just some kind of chance, as this is being walled off. This is nice. They'll maybe even make an attempt on this Titan Gate. Not entirely certain if that's going to be working or not, but they need to kind of hurry up, because once the Titan is out, especially with a situation like this, when Joe is also casting his Titan Gate in there, it's looking quite dire for the Frosts, and it seems like that their home map might be overcome by the deities of death, because at this point it's looking a whole lot better for them, and it's looking like that Gaffer the Cat is gonna be losing the TC for the second time, even though he's going for Safeguard for tower and wall hit points. Well, probably not gonna be working that well for him, as it's unfortunately not going to do anything for the town center. Well, he's having architects in there, so that's fine. All the upgrades that he can get, but unfortunately that's the TC yet again gone, and he's for the second time on the timer, and he's having 2 minutes to rebuild the TC, otherwise he's gonna be toast. And with the Titans coming up, I'm not exactly certain he's gonna be able and allowed to do that for the second time today and in this game. Well, it seems that this is heading just one way, as we are also looking at some interesting build-up finally on the left side, as Swoop is going through the tier. It's gonna be, of course, right about now, a bit of an interim, and maybe the Wolfies could be a bit of an issue for the Titan Gates, but it doesn't seem that it's gonna be anything all that major. This is just 84% up, 22% up, and the Wolfies are not here. Interestingly enough, they didn't spawn for Joe. Oh well, actually they did. There are a few horses, or rather, a few wolfies in there. As of course, those side build guys are getting rid of the Migdol, potentially even the house a bit later. So, he's going to be trying to get rid of the Titan at least. At least that. That's a very good idea by, of course, Lyra, but you must check at the top, where the TC is just in a very bad placement. As Ragnarok is finally being cast, I think this is the correct moment, exactly as it was a bit before, when they were basically reducing Gaffer the Cat to 1 TC as well, and that would be, yep, exactly I think it would have been the same GG back then, as it is right about now, but they gave us about, I don't know, 7-8 minutes more of the game, and I definitely thank them for that. It was really quite fun indeed, as this Titan is just confirming that the game is over, even through the mighty effort of Lyra to basically deal with the opponents, and it was working. It was so working. It would have been so working in there, even through the Ragnarok in here, it seems like. But unfortunately, the Titans were just a bit too much. Well, this was a very good game. Very good game indeed, and congratulations, Dots, actually taking it in the end. But Frosts, Very good play by you, especially Lior, who was such a pain for both Fox and Joe, and they were having all kinds of problems actually getting rid of him. And they didn't. They really didn't. He would have been able to probably even kill them. But well, it just didn't happen. The upgrades were just sorely missing for them. I'm kind of certain that if Frost did have more upgrades, Soup and Geffer the Cat, I'm really thinking they could have pushed through the middle and even annihilated Brighead. They were doing so well, even without any upgrades, against basically full upgraded Brighead. Well, it's not like Fox and Joe were having all that many upgrades either, but still, I really think the technological advantage was what, in the end, won the game for the Teeth of Death, more than anything else. Well, nicely played. Very nicely played, and you can see that Brighead was even just basically trying to make sure that this would be a confirmed victory for them. Nicely done. Anyway, let's check the post-game. With Brighead having the total score, having the highest, well, he was fighting for his life for the most game. So, Mikada was the most important dot. He really was. But for the opponents, I really like how they played it. All three of them, nice performance, and it took all ounce of strength for the Teeth of Death to actually push through them. Basically, 2 times. He needed to push through them 2 times to win the game. That speaks quite a lot about the quality of the game. Lior, well, you can see he was playing a really next level game. So better economy than everybody else. That was the reason why he was able to be so efficient with the side builds in there. He was having also some kind of upgrades. I'm thinking he was having really good upgrades. If I remember correctly, yeah, he was full iron. The only one for Frosts. Good efficiency. Really good efficiency for Brighead. Has to be said. And Joe didn't really have all that many upgrades either himself. But to be honest, on sudden death, to see a player in the front row, Geffer the Cat, to actually retake the TC after it has been killed, that's also kinda rare. Usually when you are losing the TC, you are in, or rather under pretty heavy pressure, and it's not any kind of fluke on a map like this. But the ability to actually push back, well, it was very good. Very good performance. Well, GG.